Hey, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And for this week's reading, I'm using the This Might Hurt Tarot by Isabella Rotman. All right. So my intention with this week's reading, as always, is to get some insights and some ideas for the week ahead. And if you're new here, welcome. I post these videos every week. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment if you feel called to. All right, so we're gonna draw 3 cards. And I also want to mention that I have created some planning sheets. I love planners and planning sheets and stuff like that. And so I've created 3 different planning sheets to help you incorporate the wisdom from your tarot readings into your weekly or daily plan. So if you want to grab your own copy, I'll put the link just below this video and you can grab that. All right. Okay, so let's begin. Oops. Okay, so starting off for the beginning of the week, Monday and Tuesday, we have the moon. So we're starting off with a major arcana card. And the moon really truly is the most mysterious card in the tarot. The moon is about, maybe being a little bit confused, not knowing all the answers, not having a clear picture of something. And in that regard, it can be a card of kind of frustration, feeling frustrated that you can't see things clearly. You don't have the big picture. You don't have all the info that you need in order to move forward confidently. But it's also a card of mystery and exploration. The moon is about the world of dreams, the world of your subconscious. And so in that way, I absolutely love the moon. So the moon always invites you to pay closer attention to your dreams, your intuitions, your hunches, your feelings, the voice of your soul, the voice of your intuition, and to really pay closer attention to those things, to really honor those things. So I honor my dreams by writing them down when I wake up. If I had a memorable dream that I remember, because most of the time I don't remember my dreams, but when I do, I make sure I write it down. And sometimes my dreams are just nonsense, but other times I've gotten some really interesting insights from them. So yeah, the moon invites you to pay attention to your dreams. But as I look at this card, I'm noticing the masks that these figures are wearing. I'm noticing the glow of the moon, the funny crabby, crayfishy lobster that's coming up from the waters, emerging from the primordial waters. And I wish my card stand, okay, there we go. I was going to say, I wish my card stand stood the cards up straight and not at an angle. It's really noticeable when the cards have some shine to them. Okay, so the masks on these women, these figures, are interesting to me. And to me, it sort of adds to the confusion of this card and this idea that as we move through life, as we move through the world, things can be confusing. People can wear masks. People don't always, it's not always obvious who people are and whether you can trust them. And people wear all kinds of disguises. Things aren't always as they seem. That is kind of the message of the moon, is nothing is really as it seems. How you perceive things is simply how you perceive them. Sometimes we perceive things accurately, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we're way off the mark with how we see things, and other times we're close but not exact. So the moon also, in addition to encouraging you to pay attention to your dreams and honor that intuitive, kind of wild part of yourself, the moon is also encouraging you to understand or to acknowledge that you don't always perceive things clearly. And sometimes it's important to keep that in mind as we move things, or as we move through life, as we move through our day, as frustrating as it is, to keep that in mind, keeping that in mind, that we don't always perceive things as they are. Okay, I feel like there's more I want to say about the moon. This is an intense card. There's a lot going on here. I really want to say more about the path that's going off into the distance. But for now, I'm going to leave it. We can come back to this card. I want to look at the card for the middle of the week. Okay. So the card for like Wednesday, Thursday-ish, midweek, we have 7 of Wands. 7 of Wands shows someone who appears to be under attack. And this is someone who's feeling kind of defensive. She's got her bow and arrow kind of poised. It's not aimed yet, but she's kind of getting ready. And there's a bunch of sticks, pointy spears pointing at her. So 7 of Wands is a card of assertiveness. So this card is telling us that midweek, we may need to be assertive. We might need to really tap into our inner strength and our ability to stand up for ourselves. It's important to know when to stand your ground, when to fight for something, and when to let something slide, when to let something go. But the 7 of Wands is saying, stand your ground, stand up for yourself, and try not to get overly defensive, though. That's the trick. That's the challenge of the 7 of Wands, is about being assertive, standing up for yourself without going into getting overly defensive. So that's the challenge midweek. You might find midweek, it might be a time where it's easier to get in arguments with people or disagreements, or you might feel like you have to kind of prove yourself or stand up for yourself in some way. But let's move on. We'll come back. So let's move on to the end of the week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'm relieved to see a kind of more happy sort of card here. So here we have the 2 of Cups. We've got these 2 figures embracing. 2 of Cups is a card of love, connection, coming together, being on the same page. It's a card of harmony and connection. It's also a card of healing, of health and healing. And in the background, we see the 2 snakes and the lion with the wings. So that's the kind of the international symbol of health and healing. So a lot of healing happening on the weekend. And to me, it feels like a lot of that healing revolves around relationships and understanding. So it could be about forgiving someone or connecting with someone on a deeper emotional level, and that leading to feeling healed, feeling whole, feeling this overall sense of well-being. Okay, I'm just going to look a little bit more at the 2 of Cups and see what else comes out of this card. It's a card of comfort, and I think the weekend is a great time to connect with others. If you're in a relationship, the weekend is a good time to really cultivate that relationship, really nurture it, celebrate it, put some effort, time, energy into that relationship on the weekend. The 2 of Cups invites you to look for similarities and common ground as opposed to differences. The 7 of Wands can arise when we all have a lot of differences. Maybe we all have different opinions or different goals or values, and that can lead to kind of like tension, disagreements, feeling defensive, feeling like you have to fight for your rights and stand up for yourself. And the 2 of Cups is almost the opposite energy. This is about seeing commonality, finding common ground, coming together. There's a lot of potential for basically reconciling any arguments or any differences in the past and really coming together. A lot of potential for healing as well on the weekend. Okay, let's look at all the cards together. To me, it feels like a journey when I look at these cards, like kind of one leading into the other. The moon to me feels like, and I think I said this right at the beginning, there's a confused kind of energy to the moon. It feels like feeling this intenseness, but also confusion. And knowing you need to move forward on your path, but just not knowing how, and getting kind of distracted by all the distractions and confusing energies going around. So I feel like there's a possibility we start the week out feeling kind of confused. Seven of Wands, again, you might feel a little bit defensive. You might feel like you really have to be assertive and really stand up for yourself. And then moving to the weekend, it feels like there's a real shift in energy. It's like all is well. Connections can be made easily. If there's grudges you've been holding, you may find it very easy on the weekend to let those grudges go. Let bygones be bygones, and really moving towards an energy of harmony with that card. And I think it's interesting that the path looks like a snake. There's like this snaky undulation on the path. And then we have the two green snakes with the Two of Cups, which I think is really interesting. Also interesting, here we have the sea creature emerging from the primordial waters. And here we have wings, which to me represent flight. So it does feel like there's this beautiful progression with these cards. Okay, so zooming out, I'm just going to see if there's anything else I want to mention. As always, feel free to chime in the comment section, add your own 2 cents. Let me know what you think about these cards. I feel like I wish I could get one cohesive message from all 3 cards, and I can't really. I do feel like the moon is saying, pay attention to your dreams right now. Pay attention to your intuitive vibes, intuitive info that you're getting. Write it down, honor it by keeping a journal. And you might need to be assertive this week at some point. So get comfortable being assertive when you need to be. And then moving towards the weekend, we have this beautiful feeling of love, understanding, peacefulness, coming together, seeing eye to eye, embracing. And so I just want to know, how do you plan to live in that energy on the weekend? Do you have any particular plans or ideas? If so, let me know in the comments. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this reading helpful. I hope you've had fun watching it. And if you want to learn more about tarot cards, check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I'll put the link to my site below this video. I've got tons of fun tarot learning resources on there for you to check out. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week.